What is going on, everyone? Today I am super excited because you have decided about our names, and from now on we will call our community the Simonics. Thank you all for your participation, from bringing up the ideas and then deciding about our name. It really means a lot to me that you showed so much engagement under all the previous videos, so therefore I wanted to do something special today in which every one of you can take something away. And therefore we will talk about 10 tools every developer needs that I personally use basically every day. All of these tools are really helpful for developers, so let's dive right into it. Today, once again, I encourage you to stick until the end of the video. I think I said this quite a few times in the past. It is not because I want to get my watch time up, because you can basically skip forward, but because I have another idea that I want to present you, and I actually want to get your feedback, and this is something that really helps you. So that's not a project, it's something new we will do in this video format. So I'm really excited, but for now, let's dive into our tools. The first tool on my list that every developer needs is actually not the text wrangler editor, but once again the Note to have a decent IDE. So actually there are a lot of IDEs, like from the free side, Visual Studio Code or Atom. Some are using actually Vim. Also in the more corporate world, Eclipse or IntelliJ are very prominent. I think there's also WebStorm. Ionic Studio is of course also one of these, kinda. But just make sure that you don't have something like this when you write your code. It should really look more like this. You should get, the colors are of course the most important part, but no, you should be able to directly dive into the source code of packages. You should be able to dive to different functions in your code, so you should be really able to navigate around quickly. And of course, this is possible not only with Visual Studio Code, but it's just the tool I really recommend for everyone doing Angular front-side development currently. Of course, also the Node.js part, backend parts work great with it. If you're working with Java, then of course Eclipse might be the better solution, but please don't mix these things and then end up opening an Angular project inside of Eclipse that really doesn't fit. The second tool on my list of tools, no, I won't repeat this every time, is Postman. So you definitely need to have Postman if you work with any kind of API in your applications. Postman is a tool to help you test APIs basically. You simply specify what type of request you want to send, you put in the URL, you send it, and you get the response immediately formatted. As you can see in here, for example, some posts from my blog. There are a lot of powerful things you can do with Postman, like specifying environments and then basically using these environments. I don't know, I think it's with double brackets or something. Yeah, that looks good. So if you define an environment, you can see all your initial values, you can use them in here. So this makes testing stuff really easy, especially with a team, as you can later on create a collection of requests. So the backend developer could create this collection for you to show what is possible with the API. And then you can easily import that collection into Postman. You can test all the requests. You can add, of course, all the header stuff, body, whatever it is. And really, just trust me, download Postman if you haven't done so far. You will really love it. Tool number 3 that I highly recommend is actually not just one tool, but a general suite, just like with the IDE in our first step. I really recommend, if you work with any kind of database, to have a decent UI tool for your database. So I know a lot of you are still working with MySQL databases. In that case, SQL Pro, as far as I know, is a pretty awesome free tool. I've used it personally to test some MySQL stuff. This is just something you really need to have in order to understand your database and see how the tables are connected. If you're using something like MongoDB or in general a NoSQL database, Robo 3T is the go-to tool that I use. I can select between my different databases that I've created, and I can dive into all of my collections. I can see the users, like here on this is a news. I can edit a document right in the database, so I don't have to somehow work with a command line to perform SQL commands or test some MongoDB queries. I can just do it right here with the UI, and I will show you actually in the next. If you're working with a database, go ahead and install either SQL Pro for SQL databases or Robo 3T, which was previously called Mongo. I don't know how it was, Mongo, Robo, Mongo, I think something like this. Really, both of them are amazing tools. Tool number 4 is get a UI for your version control system. So most of you will be using some sort of Git system, and I personally have been using SourceTree for the last, like, I don't know how many years. It is available for both iOS and Mac, and it really just helps to see everything in your Git repository a lot better. I know some of you are hardcore developers, like 10x developers that do everything on the command line, and I also know how to commit, push, whatever, do a few things from the command line. But still, seeing like which files you have changed in the project, seeing the flow of different forks or branches right inside this view is really something that helps you to understand and also to review your commits. So always before I push anything to a repository of a client, I go through the file status in here and check what I've changed. If I see I added a useless console log, I will go back and delete the line. I can see which lines I changed, what actually happened, and this is really important for both your code quality, to have your own little review in place, and in general also to not add any errors to a project or commit a bug or commit like your local dev environment. So either get SourceTree, which is pretty great, or if you're using a lot of GitHub stuff, perhaps you're also contributing a lot to open source, then the GitHub client is also great. I have used it a few times, but I actually still enjoy using SourceTree a bit more. I can clone my projects and then import them here. Everything works great so far. So tip number 4, get a UI for your source control. Tool number 5 is actually a pretty small tool you might have never heard about, so I should have added this to the title perhaps, and it's called ngrok. If you're a full stack developer or a backend developer, this tool is really handy because it allows you to test your local environment or make your local environment available in your internet, basically. So I've used this in the past, for example, for webhooks. If you implement payments, for example with Stripe, you make a request and at some point they send back a webhook to a defined URL. And if that defined URL is localhost, guess what is happening? The request won't pass. But if you add for the webhook testing the ngrok URL, like you can see here, so you have your application running at port whatever, 3000 in this case, you run ngrok http 3000 and you get a forward link that you can use right as the webhook URL. And of course this works for more than just webhooks. You could use that URL in other places as well, but this is really something I figured out way too late and it saved me really a lot of time. Alright, tool number 6 is something if you have to present your application or different parts of whatever from your device sometimes. So Reflector is a really great app. I think it was previously only available for iOS, for Mac, but right now it seems like it's available for basically everything. And I always use it to start screen mirroring on my device. I simply pick AirPlay on my device, then I get the number, I enter it, and then my device shows up right here. This is what I use for a lot of my videos because I can easily dive into whatever. So for example, the latest application I discovered to play in between. Very good example. I think this video will get demonetized. Anyway, Reflector is really something great that you can use to show your device on the Mac. And there's another tool in the next step that I want to show you, which will be number, I think, 7, right? That is called Licecap. Licecap. Or there's also an alternative, go away. which is used to create very easily GIFs or GIFs. I think it's called GIFs, right? Everyone is calling them GIF. So Licecap is also a free and very easy to use tool. I can start it right now. You basically select an area of your screen that you want to record, and then you hit record and you end up with a file. I later on switched over to something called Gifox. This thing is always in the wrong place. But Gifox is only for Mac, and I also think it is paid at some point. But Gifox is really great at capturing just a specific part of your screen. So I got a short command. As you can see, my mouse turns into this icon, and I can now select a window that I want to create a GIF from. I can select it, do anything in this screen, enter. And then from the top bar, I will have the selection for different GIFs I created before. I can dive right into my Finder if it would work, kinda. And then I would have the GIF available right here with the cool border around this. Everything is captured great. So Gifox or otherwise Licecap, great tool for creating a fast GIF to, for example, show a bug in the application or just highlight a new feature or whatever it might be. Tool number 8 is something all of you have heard about. It is Slack. So in my first company, I think 5-6 years ago, I actually installed Slack for our team. Right now, I use Slack basically every day. I have an Ionic Academy channel, which you can be part of if you become a member of the Academy, so you can answer questions and ask all your stuff in here. But there are also already a lot of great free channels like the Ionic Worldwide channel. Really, a lot of companies and tools have already a Slack channel that you can easily join. I also created my very own DevDectic channel, which I just use personally, and have installed a few plugins or bots. I don't know actually what it was called. For example, to instantly forward all mentions of Ionic to a channel and also forward all direct messages using if this then that. I could actually show that app as well. So Slack is really something for developers to interact quickly between each other, for whole teams inside agency or whatever. I think I don't have to tell you about the features of Slack. It is really great, and if you're not yet using it, perhaps become the innovator and just set it up for your domain and invite your members. They will really love it. Tool number 9 on our list is a decent notes-taking application. Previously, I used Evernote. I don't know why I switched away from it, but currently I'm using Bear, which has both a Mac app and iOS app and works pretty great everywhere. So in Bear, I keep basically everything I have. I got like the 10 tools for every developer. I got some notes, as you can see, for all of the latest vlogs. I got everything in here. I got my courses outlined. I got consulting stuff in here. Really, I use it for basically every part of my work. Whenever I have to store an idea, when I want to keep track of a terminal command that I used before, when I want to save a URL, really everything I have is in this program. And I would really encourage you to either use Evernote if you're on Windows, or I think there's also Boost Note, it's also a free tool. Bear works great for me, so I can also always work on a device, which you can of course also with Evernote. But really the key point is have some place where you store all of your information, all your commands, perhaps snippets of your code. There's really a lot of possibilities for which you should have a tool like this. All right, and finally, tip number 10 is something I just installed a few weeks ago, and this is called healthy browsing. I know a lot of developers don't really have the best attitude when it comes towards diet, nutrition, staying healthy, drinking enough, maybe getting up during the work. And this tool really helped me. It is really super simple, just add it to Chrome. It is a Chrome extension. And what it does, it basically rings you with a note if you got like headphones on, or you will also see the notification on your desktop screen to drink water, to maybe get up and stretch a bit, to whatever, blink your eyes or something like this, to check your posture. Really basic things, but I know a lot of developers, at least I do, forget about these things for hours if we are focused on a different or difficult task. So I'm really in tunnel mode then, and I got my glass right here, but I still forget to drink. And if I get this little nudge and notification right there, it really helps me to, for at least 1 second, to stop it, take the glass, drink a coffee, get down, stretch a bit, and then come back. So this is really something for healthy habits, and I recommend it really, really a lot. Alright, so these were the 10 basic tools that I really use every day in my work as a developer. If you have other tools that you recommend, please leave a comment below this video. Also, to the part that I mentioned earlier on, I want to do something new in one of the next episodes. So I would like to review 1 or 2 or 3 of your applications. If you recently developed a cool website, a cool web app, a progressive web app, a mobile application that I can download, please share your link below in the comments, but be aware that I will download it, I will check it out, I will record my ideas, my reaction, my opinion about it. So if there are things that I find to some degree confusing, perhaps bad UI, perhaps just not enough information on how to use the app, I will tell you in the video, so it will be public available. But you also get nice feedback on your application and perhaps also other people to download and check out your application. So I want to see what the community does. Let me know, I want to see what the community has done or what you have done. So leave your apps, share your apps right below the video. If you don't get selected, don't be sad. I think if this works great, I will do it over again, perhaps once a month. Share your applications below. Let me know if you have any additions to the list, and otherwise, have a great week with 10 awesome tools that I've shown you, and write some awesome code. So thanks to all the Simonates, and I will meet you next time. As always, happy coding, Simon.